Yes, sir.
Backwards, but better. Without doubling, right face. Without doubling, right face. Counter march. 5 miles right. Forward. Bar.
They could fire probably 2.5 miles, but they had to fire it with open sight, just like a rifle. So they didn't have, lasers or any of that stuff. If they could see it, they could shoot at it. Now the crews were trained to fire about 1,200 yards, about a 6-foot square, to hit it fairly consistent. So when the battery came online, again, it was 6 guns. There would have been about 20 yards between each gun, so this battery would spread out, a football field anyway. Again, they could fire different rounds through this gun. Both of the rifle guns would fire just what they call bolts, which is just like a bullet, and then exploding shells and shrapnel. Now they did fire canister, but they didn't like to fire it out of the rifle gun because they didn't want to ruin the rifle. And the rifle probably cost $100, and you were worth $12 a month. So you can see the economics of the thing was good. They didn't care much about you. They said you could hear the cannons from Philadelphia. What?
We just went through one or two.
Oh, you did?
Wet sponge.
Oh, wait, okay. Wet sponge. You had to extinguish any of the sparks that were in the barrel. Again, that was one of the things they wouldn't do if they didn't need to. They would just load it. Again, you got plenty of range, plenty of time. That's what you do.
Dry sponge.
Dry sponge, again, water is the nemesis of black powder. If anybody's familiar with it, if it gets wet, it's no good. It's like mud. So you had to then dry the tube.
That's charge.
Advance the charge means the gunner would ask for whatever kind of charge you wanted, whether you wanted to explode an impact, just a shell to knock something down, aerial shrapnel to burst over troops, or he could ask for canister if he wanted to. But as a rule, they try not to use the canister in these guns. They would, but so he would say what he wanted. They'd go to the limber chest. The guy back there would figure out what they had. They'd put it in the sack. Now he's doing what's called deny the charge to the enemy, because if you took that charge and turned it towards the guns, there's a good chance it happened that somebody would shoot that charge, not by accident. They would hit that charge, and the whole front of the gun would be gone. Again, here, ram the charge means it's got to be seated. It would shoot a 10-pound projectile. It could shoot about 2.5 miles, but the effective range was about 1 mile. You can only open sights. You can only shoot what you can see.
Prepare to fire.
Prepare to fire. Now they would punch a hole in, at this time would be a linen bag. This is tinfoil, but a linen bag. They'd insert what they call a friction primer. Friction primer is state of the art because now you can fight anytime.
Ready! Fire!
A friction primer basically gave you internal ignition, which means seems kind of silly, but you can fight in the rain, you can fight in the snow, you can fight in the wind. Up to that point,
That'd be awesome. Stand here. Just don't touch anything. Blow up.
They're done. Well, anyway, right about. Hey. Post them, Mark. Think they're done?
They won't run you over.
Right.
They're done. Anyways, I want to just get that with you guys Facebook Live. I am at Fort Knox.
They will in a minute.
What I did when I walked by him, there was actually a shot grenade right there on the strap.
There's also two.
Oh, yeah. It's either this way or around.
No, things are similar, they're not the same. Well, you at least understand the theory.
Before